The topic which I am going to discuss about is very important. As you all heard the news about Sushant Singh Rajput committing a suicide. Yes, the topic is depression. First of all, let's discuss about when in the life you can say that I'm depressed. When you cannot see any solution to your problem which you are thinking in front of you. There's whole sort of blankness in front of you. You are more angered. You are more angry to anyone. You don't want to talk with anyone. You don't want to eat much more, but you just want to sit alone and just think about that problem, and you're not finding a solution. And that is the time you can say that you are depressed. But I'm not going into the technicalities about how the person goes into depression, the chemical releases in the brain, all sort of things. But the motto of today's video is to understand how that person goes into depression because of the surroundings which I've created beyond it. So the student who commits suicide, according to statistics in India, more than 1 lakh students commit a suicide. So that's not a proud moment for ourselves, and neither should be. So why that happens? Why the depression is some sort of thing that 80% of that people commits a suicide? Why is that? So the reason behind that is that the students who are in depression because of whole sort of things, because of thinking about the results of the exams, or whether I will pass or fail, matching the expectation of the parents, what if I fail and my friends will make fun of me, whole sort of all this cluster of problems makes the stress, and it is fitted in the student's mind, and then there is no solution they can find, and there is no backbone supporting them, and then they think that committing a suicide will be a better solution, so that I will lower my problems, lower the problems of my parents, stop my friends to make fun of me. But that's not the real truth. The real truth behind that is that even if you commit a suicide, you will not lower the problems of your parents, but you will give the biggest problem to them, to your parents. There will be more fingers around your parents that asking the question that what ethics you have given to your children that they commit suicide, and which you call the so-called friends, not a real friend. So-called friends, after 2 or 3 days, they will always make a fun of you, that telling everyone that my friend was very weak and he or she can't handle the situation, and that's why commits a suicide. So after committing a suicide, what things have been changed? The same was the situation after committing a suicide is the same before committing it. So why you want to commit a suicide? Just because you don't want to face the problem in front of you? In that situation, the culprit becomes the surroundings. I'm not blaming the person who has committed the suicide wholeheartedly, but the surroundings are also the culprit behind that. And there is no charges, there is no investigation about who has got them in a depress. But the real culprit behind that is the surroundings, is the friends, so-called friends. It is a responsibility of a friend. It is called a friend in need is a friend indeed, but where is that real friend? They call it friends, but when the person needs someone to whom they can share their views, they can share their problems, there's no one, and that time we make fun of them. There's somewhere in a life that situation will come that when we are depressed, it is very calm that when we feel that there is someone behind me, there is someone beside me who can share, which I can share my views, whom I can share my problems, and he will not make a fun of me. And the role of the parents also come into this situation. I'm not telling that all parents are not doing that, but some parents have to understand that they have also a bigger role when when their children goes into a depression, because why they think of committing a suicide is because when they see there is no backbone, there is no one to whom I can share my problem, to whom I can share my views about. So the parents have to interact with the children, that asking them a question that even if you have committed a biggest problem in your life, they can easily share them with their parents. This is not the surrounding today I can see in anyone's life. Not even a parent's role, not even a friend's role. And depression is a thing in which one day in our life we will face that. The bars can be low or high, but it will come. Depression will come in our life, whether it is of just one day or of months or of years, but it will come. The real reason behind committing a suicide is this reason is because of this surrounding which are not supporting the person. They are telling that, they are making fun of them, that you're very weak, they can't handle your situation, but that person only knows that how big is that problem. You can't know the problem which they are facing. And sometimes it is the role of the people who are very closer to them, can have that commitment towards your friends, whether it is your friends or parents. They have to commit to that person that whatever happens, I am behind you. There is one sort of satisfaction inside the person that yes, I have someone who can handle me. When that satisfaction goes, the person who is in depression will later commit a suicide. That's all I want to say about the person who is in a depression. Please don't make fun of them.